this is what I'm going to be doing and showing you and everything else. So we're going to hop back on the four-wheeler here, and we're going to go back to my back gate of my property. Again, I'm sorry for the noise. If I could dim it down, I would. But this is all mine. You know, I basically bought a hill. You'll see when I get on top of it how the big, glorious pictures, if you ever followed me on any social media, but just the pure beauty of it. Just the pure beauty of it. All this, the gentleman who we bought this from, he put in all these pine trees. This whole area is a lot of pine trees, and my plan is to take all these out and put a lot of the hardwoods back, a lot of the natural Tennessee trees back. And I want those natural trees back because I want more animals to come back in here. I know there's plenty here, but there's a lot of these trees that just don't belong, you know. I just want them back. My kids I may not see it, but my kids will, and that's what I want, you know. This area, just how gorgeous it is, and you know, I just don't like seeing pine trees all the time. When I can afford it, I can put all these trees back to the natural state where they're supposed to be, and how much it's so. I don't even know how to put it into words. And that's kind of what my goal and intentions is. And when I start bringing people out here, they'll see the natural beauty of this place and everything. It's like it was logged probably less than 5 years ago. There's a gentleman over here, as you can see, all this stuff out here laying here. He must have did the guy I bought it from. They did his land, and you can tell they just left all half the stuff on the ground, which is good for the nutrients to down the ground, but it just takes a long time for it to decay and put the natural elements back into the ground. You know, all these leaves help the ground get its nutrients. It does. That's why you have a lot of these people that use that for mulch. And even, you know, in the garden, around trees and stuff, that's their natural decay and breaks down the leaves and go back into the ground. I have a lot of work I have to do. A lot of these trees are going to get taken down and split some firewood from the house. I try to run the wood stove all year, or at least the whole time, during the winter, to cut down on propane that I have. And yeah, it just brings back all that stuff. Let me hop up here a second here, turn this off, open the gate, and then we'll be right back at it. Back again. Had to shut the gate so that no people come in here, but as you can see, those tracks are deer tracks. But this road leads up to the top of the hill, and all these trees will come down. I'm thinking I do an acre a year. It's gonna take some time, and then as I drop trees, I will, you know, split them, put them up for the winter, or during the winter and whatnot, and then gradually plant trees in here. There's a bunch of, you know, small baby cedars that are growing in there, as you can see, and go from there. And I may keep them, I may not, I don't know yet. But one of the major things I'm fighting right now when it comes to animals is the deer and also coyotes. a lot of coyotes that are out here. And I try to have people come out and kill the coyotes, or I kill them myself. But it happens that way. Hate when people put trash and it washes down in the ravine when it rains real hard. And it just comes out on there. But if you don't know, those little plants right there, called ferns, they're dormant right now because everything's dormant right now. We're gonna take a trip up to the top of the hill. I am not walking that. Walked it a lot, and it's tough. You'll see what I'm saying. But one of my other plans is here pretty soon, after we get rid of our pigs and I get paid for them, is that I'm gonna fill this little trench up here with riffraff. If you don't know what riffraff is a type of rock that they put on logging roads. And it's gonna go into this little ravine here so I can drive my truck up here a lot less steeper than the hill that I'll show you. Going down and up it, I have almost gone into that one creek that is done by springs coming off of that hill. And it is scary. Really scary. So, let's proceed up the hill. And like I said, we're gonna put riffraff in here so it's not so, like, crazy. That's what water does to your hill after so long. Sorry about it. There is another spring. I don't know if you can see it. Down there. There's a spring that runs off that hill and comes down here and marks up into that. When it rains real bad, I'll take you out here. As you can see, sorry about that. Going up this hill. See how steep this hill is. We're getting there. Sorry about that. I had to get up on top of my tree stand here and kind of explain what's going on here. Sorry for the wind, so you have a little bit better idea of what's going on here. This is where my grapes are gonna go, and hopefully nothing destroys them. But anyhow, there's about 16 rows that I planted last year. And yes, it is a little bit overgrown. Sorry. I got sick and other stuff, but I also did it for two reasons. One, because of the fact that I want to see what comes out of this as to it push itself to be better and stressing them out. I know I'm not supposed to do that when it's, they're very young, but it's the only thing I could think of at the time. It may be the wrong move, who knows? We'll see. But this is the view, and it goes over on the other side, and before we go down that way, we'll go that way first and then come back and then go down here and show you this. But all these little pine trees right here were planted. I can't take them out for 10 years because it's under a federal contract with the previous owners. And the reason why I named this farm Blackberry Ridge Farms is because when we bought this property, there were so many small wild blackberries, because he had cattle on here, and if you don't know anything about cattle and blackberries, they love them. They'll eat them, and then go through their natural process, and they drop it right back on the ground, the seeds, and they germinate, and bam, you got you a new plant. Let's get off of here and go down there. It's very beautiful today. It's about 22 out here on top of this hill. Now we're in the thinking spot. I call this a thinking spot because whenever I sit here and I come out here and when I had a stressful day or my PTSD's acting up, I'll come up here and I'll just sit and look at this. And maybe sometimes for 20-30 minutes. I've sat out here all day one day just because I was so upset, and it's just overwhelming sometimes, some of the things that just kind of pop up in your head whenever you're really upset, and just bad things, you just don't like it. You don't want to see it or feel it or relive it over and over again. But this is where I come to think at. And like I said, we'll go take a walk over here. This is where I tell you I have a hill. And a little bit about this place. Went to the Office of Geology of my farm, had a map done, and it was on file from 1950 something. It really hasn't changed since then. But this place has a lot of rock. I'm talking the size of a small sedan underneath here, and I've hit a couple of them so far digging holes. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we get to that point, which will be here probably in about 7, 8, 9 weeks, something around there. And what I should have done too was, and I was dumb, but I had to get these grapes in the ground, or at least that side of my most valuable ones, was, put over here. I didn't put any trellises in. Well, I'm going to do this one over here a little different. I'm going to have 15 rows all the way down to those pines right there that I said I was going to take out. And eventually, and as you can see, there's pines everywhere in this area. They just, over here, from where that farm is right there, all that is someone's property. It's about 4,000 acres. Nothing there except for trees that they'll log. And during the spring, summer, and fall, you'll see log trucks come up and down the road here, and it is annoying and it's scary sometimes too. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I want to put the riffraff in the ground over there is I'll show you why here just in a second. But I kind of wanted to show you what I talk about when I say I'm gonna put my grape plants in here. As you can kind of see, where to go? Right here, starting right here. These are all live. All the ones that have little flags on them are all live. They're there, trust me. It's all going to be cleaned up, and you'll see what I'll talk about once I get to it. Right now, the whole ground's frozen. And I set it back a little. There's your first plant right here, and it's roughly about 20 feet from where the opening is over here. So I can put an anchor in the ground right where I'm standing. And also at the end of here, I'm planning to put a 250 gallon the ICB totes on each of these lines on each side, because I don't have a well. I'm saving up for one. I don't have a well up here. The ones that have been up here are alive because we had good rain this whole last year, so that was a good thing. But as I said, that is a hill that I almost died and crashed on a few times. So let me stop here and we'll go take a ride over there to show you that plan for everything. But before I do that, I'm leaving these trees up here for 10 years. And then I'm cutting them all down. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I'm going to cut them all down. And then I'm going to take a bush hog, go down these hills over here, and I plan on taking and putting blackberries all throughout there and blueberries down that way. I haven't decided yet. I may just leave it. I don't know. But we'll see what the plan is and what I can afford at the time. And you'll be with me during the journey. Let's go take a moment of break here second, and we'll go over to the other spot. I'm gonna walk with you and we're gonna be quiet and we're gonna see if we're gonna see any deer down here. They like to slip right down in there. There's a little, you'll see when we go down there. So let's walk. Nope, we didn't see any, but there's a lot of deer tracks around here. And then this next coming hunting season, I'll be setting up a tree stand out here, and as you can see, there's prints everywhere. There's a highway over here. They like to bed up around here, and they like to sit here, and they like to eat, you know, just bed down here for the night because of the spring that's right here. Anyway, I'll get to that in a second. But you don't know what this is. This tree right here, it's dead. Dead as a doornail. This is a widowmaker. If you don't know what a widowmaker is, long time ago, if you ever heard of the widow spider, the deadly spider, it's hollow on the inside of this tree. If you can't see, woodpeckers and everything else coming in here, I would leave it. I probably will, because the insects in it and the woodpeckers will come out. Right there's when they try to peck out all that stuff out of there, and I'll use it as a snag for the wildlife. And they'll peck at it. See the little holes right here, more woodpeckers. If they're all dead and it's dying, decaying, you know, insects will get in there, and the woodpeckers will start just go to town at that until it falls over. As you can see, there's the tree over here. Anyway, but The deer like to come sit in here, and they'll just like to just sit in here. You know, during the summer, spring, the fall too. This crazy amount of deer I got on this property. This is a spring-fed creek. Crawdads and crawfish and little minnows will be in here, and there's little tiny snails that live throughout here, and during the spring you'll see them out everywhere. But over there is a spring that just amount of water that comes out of here is absolutely phenomenal. The gentleman right next door wants to try to tap it, but he cannot tap it, according to, because it joined on 5 properties. But I haven't decided what I want to do with this whole area. If I just want to leave it natural, or if I want to leave a little habitat for them. I mean, I'm going to leave half the property. This is about, it goes all the way to the pig pen and the barn, as you see we started out with. But this is about 5-6 acres, and this is, as you can see, there is, you know, small trees trying to fight. You know, the pines are fighting against the, I don't even know what kind of tree those are, but there's a ton of them. Here's another spring. I have a total of about 7-8 springs on the property, and out of those 7 of those 8, you know, there's a good, probably, I'd say about 4 that are good, and when I consider good, it's drinkable, and the other 3 or 4 are not drinkable at all. You know, you get that sulfur and the nasty stuff. You don't want to be drinking any of that. That's just horrible. Horrible stuff. Horrible. But it runs down that way. And if you can notice, there's an L that is right here. And there's an L. What they used to do back in the day, according to the old farmers around here, they used to bulldoze land and leave a line of trees called a windbreak. Well, over here, as you can see, he did that, and for, you know, for that, and also the cattle, he had about 22 head full grown, and he'd drop every year, you know, cattle every year. But I don't know if I want to leave it or not. I don't know. The other side I took out because of the fruit trees that I'll show you. But this stuff I might leave, but I gotta thin them out, you know, because the other side had a lot of dead, dying, decaying trees, and that's no good, especially if you're out here just, you know, walking around. If you have a tree stand up here, just like the one that's over here, it'll kill somebody. A lot of widowmakers on this property. But I want to show you something that I've seen a lot. These little saplings, I call them saplings because they're still under 5 years. They're still considered sapling. I got a buck that's running around here. As you can see, they're just all over the place. You know, through in here and up there, and they're just everywhere. And they just love to rub their antlers above there, and they run the velvet off. I've seen him a couple times during the spring and once during the summer, but that's it. He's a good 14 pointer. He's out here with his girls. But I'm going to pause here and I'm going to get on my 4-wheel. We're going to drive up by the pigs and show you the other part. Now we're over here by the pigs and the orchard. I have about 10 peaches over there. And there's my bad boy pigs. Anyway, over here, all these little flags and lines are all my fruit trees. Again, throughout the year, you'll see them in their stages and all that. And every one of those, I have lost probably, I'd say about 17% because of the error that they did and how they grew them. But they're fixing that problem. Anyway, but it's just going to show you the process I use, what I learned, you know, last year and this year. And at the end of the year, you'll get my final thoughts on that and show the improvements that they have made. Right here are all the dead cherries that kind of didn't do its thing. One of the big things that I'm fighting, and I've been fighting for the last probably good, you know, year and a half, is fire ants. Tons and tons and tons and tons of them. Fire ants. I tell you, those little suckers, they bite you and they'll get you. They hurt. You can kind of see that little mound back there is a fire ant hill that I have to kill when it gets warmer out, because they like to hibernate just like any other animal does when it's negative 21 degrees here in Tennessee. But we're coming to our little piggies. You know, it's now the 18th of January and they're going for their little voyage to food here pretty quick. And I tell you, they're about 250 pounds. They're good boys. They live their life happy. And they're everything. But at the end of this, we're gonna have our final thoughts for the day. And like I said, we're going to go every day that I do. I'll show you all my problems that I have and stuff that I try to solve, and also all the work that I do. So you can see the amount of work that a farmer does in a single day, every day. And I want you to come and join the journey. And it's not a how-to channel or anything like that. It's just tips, tricks, and what a disabled veteran does. I meant to mention this right here. I have about 5 pear trees. There's 3 there. There's one right there, and there's another one right over there. You can't really see it because it's still small whip. These right here are called whips because they're under 2 years. Anyway, there's about all those black pots. I have about 94, 95 of them. They're still living. They're starting on their 2nd year. And they're pretty long. They're all alive. Checked them, trimmed them already because it's been negative 21 out, so they're still in dormancy. Those will go on the ground too. But over here, right beyond this tree right here, is going to be mulberries over there. I'm probably going to put a grape plant or 2 over here. Walk over here and you'll see. Eventually this big pine tree's coming down. Probably be in winter. It's going to be crazy because you got the power line there. It was fun. But I know it's a little messy. I had to take tree down. All the stuff would be burnt in one day. I took all those whatever trees that were out. But this has grapes growing on it already. And I know it's kind of drippy, but that's okay. We'll fix it later on. That's a mulberry tree right there. And all this behind me will be about 25 blueberries, excuse me, that are going to the ground there. And where those two clotheslines posts are will be 3 seedless grape plants. One didn't survive. I'll get another one, throw it in there, and go call it a day. So, I mean, they're doing pretty good. And behind that is where all the fruit trees are. That runs that way. Mainly your deer will come, come down here because you got that nameless creek. And they'll run up or over here, and they'll come up over there and then go that way. And they'll live up in that area. So, and if I ever see them, I'll show you. But they're there.